Welcome. In this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on the essential configurations that really make the entire purchasing process in SAP S4HANA material management work so well. So let's just dive right in. So how do they do it? I mean, really think about it. You've got a massive global company. How on earth do they keep track of every single purchase, from something as small as paper clips to something as huge as jet engines, without everything just descending into total chaos? Well, the secret is all in a smart, robust configuration, and that is exactly what we are going to break down for you today. All right, so we'll kick things off with the engine of efficiency itself, automation. We're going to look at how the system can automatically create your purchase orders, and believe it or not, it all starts with something called a document type.
Think of the document type as the brain behind any purchasing document you create. It's just a simple key, but it holds all the important rules. It dictates the document number, it controls which fields are required or maybe even hidden, and it basically tells the system exactly how to behave. This is really the foundational setting for everything that's about to come next.
And this is where the real magic starts to happen. See, when you correctly configure your document types, you're basically empowering the system to automatically generate purchase orders from other transactions. Just think about that for a second. A goods receipt or a purchase requisition can trigger a PO without anyone having to lift a finger. This is how you eliminate all of that tedious manual work.
So you might be wondering, how does the system decide which document type to use when it's converting a purchase requisition into a purchase order? Well, it follows this really clear four-step logic you see here. First, it tries to find a perfect match. If that doesn't work, it checks to see if there's only one available option. If there are a bunch of options, it just uses the default. And if all else fails, it simply picks the first one in the list. This built-in logic makes sure a purchase order always gets created, which prevents any dead ends in your process. Okay, so your purchasing documents are now being created automatically. That's great. But, in the real world, things change, right? A price gets updated, a quantity gets adjusted. So how do we manage all that? Well, this leads us to our next critical topic, maintaining control and having a perfect audit trail.
This slide just illustrates the difference perfectly. Without version management, you're honestly flying blind. There's no clear history, which can easily lead to supplier disputes and really risky negotiations. But the moment you switch it on, you get full transparency, a verifiable history, and you can make data-backed decisions. The contrast is really like night and day.
So what is version management exactly? Well, the easiest way to think about it is like the official track changes for your purchasing documents in SAP. Every single time a key field is changed, the system creates a brand new version, and this builds a complete auditable history of that document's entire life.
And the practical benefits here are just huge. You can instantly see who changed what and when they did it. Imagine a supplier disputes an order. You can just pull up the exact version that was sent to them as proof. You can even compare versions side by side to see every little detailed change, right down to the notes in the long text fields. So remember, this isn't just about record keeping. It's about giving you clarity and protection.
Okay, so we've looked at the document level. Now let's get even more granular and zoom in on the individual line items in a purchase order. This is where we get to decode the real power of item categories.
I absolutely love this analogy. If the document type is the brain of the whole document, then the item category is the DNA of each individual line item. This one tiny setting tells the system everything it needs to know about how to process that specific item you're buying. This slide really lays out all the different flavors of purchasing, and it's fascinating to see how they all work. A standard purchase, that's pretty straightforward. But look at something like third party. This is when your supplier ships directly to your customer. A goods receipt in your own warehouse, well, that wouldn't make any sense, right? But you still have to pay that invoice. Or what about consignment, where the stock is in your building, but it's still owned by the supplier? The invoice only gets triggered when you actually use the item. Every one of these categories kicks off a completely different process flow in the system.
Okay, this is a major pro tip, so listen closely to this one. In customizing, you can change the external code for an item category, let's say changing the letter S to something else. But when you're building advanced configurations like release strategies, which are basically your approval workflows, you have to use the system's original internal code. Forgetting this is such a classic mistake that can make your entire workflow fail. So, we've covered a lot of ground today. Let's do a really quick rapid-fire recap of the 3 core configuration tools we've unpacked. First up,
Document types. Remember, this is your key to unlocking intelligent process automation. Second, version management. This is your go-to tool for maintaining complete control and that rock-solid audit trail. And finally, item categories. As you can see, they give you the power of precise classification for every single thing you buy. Automation, control, and classification. These really are the pillars of a well-run SAP purchasing system. So, the question I'll leave you with is this. Now that you have the tools, which one are you going to use to solve your next big purchasing challenge? Thanks.
All right, let's talk about